Hey everyone, it is Sinix again. I'm back for another episode of Painting Faces. That is the series where I'm taking this sheet I made of random faces from photos, from imagination, from just whatever, trying to get a mix of styles, and I'm painting one at a time to kind of show off, to try to show off different styles of painting, digital painting, and I'm using Painter 9 for this. Anyway, as you might be able to tell, this is post commentary, as things are already just popping off in the background there. But that's okay, because I'll have plenty of time to go over that. There's a lot of meandering in this video. You may have noticed I've been missing my updates, I would say. Skipping my updates for a few weeks. Yep, but I'm trying to get back on track, so I'm just taking it nice and easy. So, I think I asked if anyone had any suggestions for the next face, and I think only one person answered, and that was for this face up here in the top right corner. So I'm just not doing anything too crazy as far as styles go. I'm just going to go pretty much similar to the first face I did, although I think the main difference here is I'm working from light to dark instead of dark to light. So as you can see, I kind of started with a slightly yellowy light tone, and that's probably going to be around the lightest tone I use. And I just kind of use that as my base, and now I'm going back in and just adding shadows, and any place I think it should be a lot darker, I'm going both to a more red tone, along with, getting rid of the saturation and whatnot. If you look at the little color wheel, you can see that I'm kind of going in a curve, but since I'm trying to do something a little more high chroma, the curve is kind of not going straight down, but kind of going down into the right. Um, yeah, so I guess that's the main difference here. But otherwise, it's going to be a lot like the last one. You can see I made the nose like very red. There's a lot of strong color there. And I would say like it's important to know where you can get away with using color. And as far as I'm concerned, anytime you can put color in the skin tone, you should just go for it. The more color you can get in your skin tones, the better. I'll probably try to show off something that's like really crazy with the color eventually, but just even for like a simple thing where it's not being too crazy, slightly realistic, I'd say you still want to go crazy with the hues anywhere you can. So a lot of people like to do that with the noses. Things like shoulders, anywhere where you might get like sunburned or whatever, you kind of want to pop in some more redness maybe. Anything that can mix up the hue of the skin tone. Because, I don't know, I don't think you can ever go wrong with that. Just the more hues you have in your skin tones, usually the better. So, looks like I'm working around the eye here. I think, yeah, I tried to I think blah 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 blah. I forget what I was gonna say. But you can see the lips. I'm just kind of taking the color of the skin tone and just changing the hue, mainly just the hue in the color wheel, and making the hue more red. I'm not like looking at the color wheel and just picking out a reddish color. I'm always working off the colors that I've already established. So as you can see, I kind of use the color picker to select one of the skin tones, and then I just go in and basically adjust it in the color wheel without going too far in any particular direction. Now, as you can see, it looks like I'm adding some shadows from the hair, and I would say anytime you're doing a shadow on your skin tones, you just want to pick a tone you've already established. You don't go back with like a black or any kind of like unnatural darker tone, because you may think, oh, it's a shadow, I'll just take like a black and kind of maybe a lower opacity black, but I'll just put some black over it. But that usually looks pretty bad. You usually just want to take one of the shades of the skin tone that you've already established as one of the darker shades and just use that for your shadow. So for the hair, I'm just going with kind of a reddish tone. It's kind of keeping this a bit monochromatic with the skin tone and the hair tone, but I think it works. It's not too jarring, and I kind of like these kind of orangey, reddish hair colors, especially like for something where you want it to be kind of light and summery. This is a very summery color for like hair. Even I'm gonna try to bring some like yellow in, really. Oops, moved it a little. But yeah, just like something really kind of orangish, and it's a lot of fun. It's kind of a bit unnatural, but it kind of has that like sun bleached look to it. So yeah, once again, it's good summer color. Uh, and yeah, it's cleaning things up. I was trying to see how far I could get away with bringing like in a really strong yellow, but wasn't really working out, so I just left it in a little tiny spot. And even there, it doesn't really mesh that well, but that's okay. Um, yeah, it's trying to bring out the sides of the hair a little bit with the dark color. And I'm still working on the nose a bit. I feel like the nose gave me a lot of trouble. You can see throughout this video, I'm just kind of meandering a lot, going back over stuff, and I think it might be one of the main issues I was having was that I can't see the top of the face. It's kind of cropped at a weird angle there, right like at the top of that eye line. And it kind of threw me off a little bit, even just with the. I'm sorry, I was choking a bit. I just ate. But yeah, it kind of threw me off a little bit just because the nose is kind of going up and getting cropped off. So it throws off my brain a bit and like actually establishing where the nose is going and what's going on. But I think it turned out okay. At least it's passable. So once again, there's a lot of meandering in this one, and this is where I started to go above the line art. Much like the last one I did, I worked below the line art, and then once I'm kind of happy with that, I go above the line art and start getting rid of some of the dark lines. I think in this one, the main dark line that was bugging me was the dimple in the on the side of the mouth, which, as you can see, I'm kind of working on a lot because I've always found that troublesome. It's one of the things where like painting it especially. Like I could do it with line art, but anytime I'm doing painting, it's very hard to get the dimple to look right. It always just looks like a brown smear, and it still kind of does. So I'm still working on that technique a bit. But I think I made it look at least decent. So, yeah, I'm just going in, just trying to rework the nose. I'm getting rid of some of the lines a bit. Just kind of trying to show off some lighting on that back side of the face that you're not seeing. And, yeah, once again, I kind of went all Aspergery on the nose shadow here. Just kind of constantly trying to figure out how I can make it look better. Um, yeah, that can be an issue that kind of gives you trouble too. I would say anything around the mouth, like especially like the below the nose or the dimples or even below the bottom lip, like those are kind of complicated areas to make look right when you're I don't know, when you're not amazing, and I'm certainly not amazing. So those parts are probably my trouble spot most of the time if I had to like pick one thing about the face, because you don't want it to look too like dark and shadowy around the mouth, especially when you're doing a girl. Which I haven't established that, but the differences between a guy and a girl. Obviously, I'm not going in with the real bluer shades as I get down the face and work around the chin area and whatnot. You don't want to have anything that looks stubbly, so you can go in a little more yellow greenish, but versus like the pink section that you're going to have around the cheeks and nose. But overall, you don't want to be mixing your hues too much with the between the top of the head and the bottom of the head if you're doing a female face, just because you don't want it to look like she's got a beard. But yeah, that was pretty much it. As you can see now, I'm finished off, and I'm just showing the close-up shot, which is slightly higher resolution. I don't know, it's slightly blown up a little, so it looks a little pixelated or whatever. But yeah, it turned out alright. Definitely gonna have to work on these a bit, but that was a good way to get me back into the habit of things. And hopefully I'll be doing another video this week or sometime soon. Once again, you can pick a face if you want to. You can ask about a certain style, anything like that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope it was fun and educational.